Alright guys, welcome back to Tomboy Official. Welcome back to the podcast. I am technically recording this segment still on Friday the 13th. A little energetic. I was listening to some brown noise. Just kind of still hydrating. Had a little more coffee. That second gulp of coffee, I just decided on that. I was like, let me just have the coffee. That's plenty for me, honestly. I don't need that much caffeine. But I do intend to get over to the gym today. I finally decided on that. Now, which gym? That is going to be the question. There's one gym that has a sauna, which I love. But with it being cold and flu season and all that kind of thing, I kind of prefer to use my hot shower with that hot water and the steam. To me, it feels a little more sanitary considering I have to shower anyways, and considering it's at home and I'm not in there with other people. But I don't know, so let me see. The gym that I like the most, that has the newer stuff, has a sauna, has a pool, has a steam room, has a jacuzzi, newer equipment, rooms. The gym that is older, I think they're about an equal distance from the house. The gym that is older, I'm more familiar with it. It's a little less packed. The parking's better. There's some little grocery areas near it. So if I need to run an errand, to get some food, like at Whole Foods or something like that, I could do that. I don't know yet. They have the bikes that have the forward-facing pedals. I really like those a lot. But the pedals don't have the straps on them. They're all broken. Here's our trusty sirens. I didn't hear a lot of sirens yesterday, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I like the bikes. I really like cycling. It's really fun. I enjoy it. It's just, my hips are kind of wide and the seats hurt my butt. More than just a day. It's I need more support for my glutes. So that old gym also has the bikes that, again, they're missing the straps for your feet on the wider seat bikes. And sometimes they're glitchy too. If you're going a little slow, whatever you were doing just kind of cancels itself completely. And one thing I'm noticing, I've noticed this before, but the reason why I'm recording is because it was something that kind of hit me, that was interesting, and it's something that maybe I hadn't fully explored, as far as how content from your own cultural background, whether that's ethnicity, race, if you're a part of the LGBTQ plus community, gender related stuff, maybe androgynous people, masc presenting people, femme presenting people, whatever you may be, non-gender conforming, types of people. Just finding content by people that have some kind of representation of yourself can be very helpful for motivation. I think I've talked about some of the stuff that I've found helpful in the past, and in the present, but I remember when I was probably in one of my bigger slumps and, sleeping weird schedules and stuff, and would come across Jamie Messina's material, her lives on TikTok, or I think the first lives I came across were on Instagram. So on Instagram, and she'd be on Instagram, she'd be on I don't know, she'd be just online on those different places. But it would be my time, 6 a.m. or something like that, because she was recording, I think, Eastern time. I think from Florida. I think she says she's from Boston but lives in Florida, something along those lines. But I remember I was not doing well in that time in my life, and I don't know if I noticed it or I felt it, but I still plowed through it. I wasn't not doing things, but I remember coming across her content and just being like, this is so helpful in the morning. Just the simple questions of what are your intentions for today? What are 3 positive things about yourself, or whatever? It would be just stuff that you'd be online live with a community of people, whether it's 9 people, 20 people, 50 people, 100 people. I don't know how many people, but you'd be online live with some people, and everyone kind of, posting live their comments of I'm going to exercise today, or, I'm proud of myself for this reason, or I have gratitude about this thing. And just starting out the day like that was so healing, and it was fun, and I didn't think too much of it, and she wasn't always on every morning, but I remember how I felt significantly good and motivated compared to how I was feeling before that. It helped. I think I tuned in a few days, but it helped a lot. And then I also noticed from watching some interviews from maybe it's controversial, but people have their different opinions about porn stars, adult entertainment actors and things like that. But I know there were some people on I don't mind sharing this because I found it positive and helpful, but I kind of knew about Helix just because I'm from LA, lived in San Diego, follow a lot of queer content, and Helix Studios is a gay adult entertainment studio it's mostly kind of twink type, majority Caucasian men, white guys, sometimes Latinos. I've seen a couple black guys in there. I don't know if they have trans people in there, but basically that's there's this series that the part that's not adult rated, or at least according to YouTube, it still passes their screening. It's called, I think it's called #Helix, and I don't know if it was originally from Twitter or what. I think it's called #Helix, and they basically were on Helix. It's Helix Studios videos, and there were these guys Blake Mitchell and Joey Mills and Evan Parker, and these are their brands. They're adult entertainers that their brand is their name. They're young guys, but they're fit. They've got this positive energy, this camaraderie, this like friendship with these groups of people, and it reminded me of my friends. I was like, it's like watching, like, in a weird way, it's like it was almost like just listening to a couple friendly acquaintances or people that are maybe introducing themselves to you, answering questions. Very sex positive, very queer positive, very health positive content, where it's just dudes just hanging out and just like they're not ashamed of themselves, and they do what they do and they talk about it, and just listening to just like seeing how comfortable they were with themselves and just talking and answering questions and being themselves and being comfortable, and their emotional kind of intelligence, and hearing kind of different views on how they got into stuff and like what their families think, and like it was very like not focused on like trauma. Like usually when you hear queer content or gay content and stuff like that, you only hear, and for me, like most of my exposure to conversations around adult entertainment was mostly from church perspectives of like, like it's evil and it's bad, you should be ashamed if you like it, or if you even like watch anything or consume any of that content, and you should be, never do it. And there was never any conversation about anything positive. It was all just negative. But they never focused on like, is there anything you could pull from that's like got some kind of positivity to it? And to me, it really caught my attention. Like it was a little like, I wouldn't say that, I wouldn't call it like arousing. Like it was more like kind of piques your interest, like almost like a music video. It's like there can be people in a music video that like, some ladies twerking around and all this kind of stuff with their cheeks out and stuff, and I wouldn't call it like arousing. Like in my own opinion, it's just kind of like entertaining. It's like a form of sexual entertainment that's not necessarily for the purpose of arousal, I guess you could say. It's just like sex positive, body positive. I found it just positive, I was just like, this is cool. Just like 2 dudes, 3 dudes, however many guys, just answering questions from their fans about like some stuff about like, oh, what do you do for fun? Like play video games or like go hiking, and like they kind of talked about their lives and interests and stuff, like, oh, like their first time having sex with a guy, or their first time I don't know, like if they've ever had a threesome or whatever. Like it wasn't like it's just casual. Like it is sexual content, but it's not like sexualized necessarily. Like I wouldn't call it porn, and I feel like if YouTube is playing it, it's pretty mild. So in my opinion, like but I just found, just how they would talk about, oh yeah, I do my workouts every day, and like this is what I do for my workouts, or this is what I do for my hair care. This is what I do, I like skiing, this is the kind of food I like to eat, I like Italian food, I like to cook this type of thing. Like if I was gonna take somebody out on a date, like this is kind of like my ideal date kind of thing that I would do with somebody, and like just kind of how they kind of have this, you know, aspect on life that I was like, you know, I don't really hear a lot of people have conversations like that, you know, and I found it interesting. And there's a lot of content on those types of videos. There's a lot of it. I think Jay Killam, Jess, I talk about her content a lot. She's got a lot of content about what do you call it? Content about dating, you know, dating female, you know, lesbian, female, you know, sexual relationships, being better in bed, like all kinds of content. And she got into go-go dancing. And so I know recently she, I guess, has, she's an entrepreneur and has a lot of, people that she's involved with. Like, she has like a studio, I think, that she rents out for people who want to record things there or whatever it may be. She's into dancing, has been into dancing even before the go-go dancing. And I've kind of noticed some of her crew, some of the people on the film crew and people friends with those people tend to be getting into go-go dancing as well. More mask-presenting go-go dancers. That's something you don't see way often. Like, I feel like I've seen it in my day and age, but it's something that's kind of newer, kind of more of a niche kind of go-go dancing. Usually I feel like when people go-go dance, it's either really femme with like the bikini type things or like thongs and that kind of stuff, or you know, like guys, like kind of muscly guys in gay clubs and stuff like that, or just like usually you see those, I guess, gay spots and straight spots. I don't really go to a lot. I don't know if I've ever been to a straight space where there were go-go dancers, but I also don't go to that many straight clubs. But I haven't been to many that had go-go dancers, and I don't know, I had fun, you know. Just going out and having a good time. But yeah, it's kind of a very specific type of work. They're not strippers, but it's sexual, and they get tipped, and I think they do get a base pay, but I don't know the rates. From what I've heard, it's not like always really a lot of money, but it seems like there is some type of funds that people get. But yeah, they provide a service to the community, and it's kind of like, you know, there's some flirting, and, you know, sometimes Like, I've seen them, like, kiss people or kind of be a little physical. Maybe if they get a really high tip. I don't know if that's what it is or if they feel like a connection or something, but it's not. It doesn't seem like it's too much more than that. It's a very casual thing. But yeah, I was watching some content like I normally do. I rewatch the same stuff a lot, and some of the content on the Jay Killam Instagram videos, that's where she posts some of the interviews she does at taste events. I think one of the topics was what is like something you would consider not like not positive in the bedroom, like something that would make it be like not a good experience. Like, a lot of people were just, it was kind of like a joking kind of thing too, like serious but joking. So people were saying things like, oh, if they had bad breath, or like if they weren't good at like oral sex, or if they weren't good at like communication, if they're too shy, if they're that kind of thing. Like, just I think one of the last people, she was really funny, saying like if that person was kind of not interested in using the toys specifically because they were someone else's toys and had been used before, and they're not brand new, even though they were like sterilized, because they were like joking. It's like, yeah, that stuff is expensive. You can't just like not have one, like it's expensive. You can't just like not like you can't just like buy new ones all the time, or if the other person didn't bring their own. So it's like, it was just kind of stuff like that that's kind of like funny, like and then yeah, there was just a lot of conversation about those types of topics. And then I don't know, like it was fun. Like, it was like, open-minded people. Someone new that I've been following their content, new YouTube channel, Alexa Legend. I've talked about her before, so I think I came across her content because she's connected to Jay Killam, Jay Killam, and she has a YouTube channel, and she's a football player on the female team, the LA Legends, female football team. And so she's back in training for football. She's a football player, so you gotta train. You can't just not train. And just seeing how she, in some of the episodes, was up like around 4 or 5 in the morning on a front porch in some neighborhood during the holiday season, I guess, somewhere where it was snowing. I can't remember what state, but it wasn't here. And left LA to go visit family, and was working out. They had some workout equipment out front, and was working out in the cold in the early morning. And I'm like, dude, like, I have trouble just, like, I'll be honest, I've literally had days where I was, like, so lazy that I was like, I don't want to, like, properly do yoga. So I was, like, gonna do yoga because it was, like, one of the simpler things to do. Like, not really, just, like, the basic stretching type. Like, yoga to me is pretty intense, like, when I actually do, like, legit yoga routines. But this, like, I have like a light version and like a medium version and a heavy version. So this was like a lighter version I've done more than once, just like in bed. Like I'm in the bed, literally, just like, okay, let me do like toe touches and stretch and like, V-sits and, it's like I'm literally like struggling that much to get in some exercise that I'm literally like in bed, like not fully under the covers, but I'm like, that doesn't really count as a workout, but it's like, hey, at least I'm stretching, you know. And then like compare that to seeing somebody like 4 a.m. It's snowing outside. They're on the front porch in the cold, like getting in reps and like like in like a hoodie and all this stuff, like exercising. And I'm like, you know, like I see stuff like that and I'm just like automatically just like motivated, compared to what I was doing. I'm like, dude, I need to step it up. Like I'm not like weak and I'm not unathletic, but sometimes it's like I notice for myself when I take too many days out of it, it's like just the amount of time it takes to get back into the routine. It can make it just that much harder to get into the routine because I do have to take like 1 or 2 days of my sessions to kind of ease back into something heavier, because of the inactivity and because of such a sedentary lifestyle, working from home and not working in an office where I'm at least walking around in the office a lot. Like when I'm at home, I'm not like walking around the house a lot. Like we have like a yard and stuff, but like I'm not like always using it like that. So I don't know, like there's just a lot of stuff that I'm looking at that I'm just I try not to judge myself harshly and be like, you need to like do it better because you're sucking. Like I try not to take that approach with myself. But I've been doing this flexibility challenge since December 17th. And the last day of it is it's a 30-day challenge. Of the last day is going to be January 16th. And the guy who sparked my interest in this, I don't know if I'm going to find his name easily. Let's see if he pops up because I watch his content so much. He always shows up in my shorts. Not my shorts clothing, but the shorts that show up as recommendations for like just stuff to watch. His name is Nat Hearn, NATHEARN. So I watch a lot of his shorts and his content, and I got that splits flexibility exercise idea from him because I noticed when I do my martial arts exercises, dude, my flexibility is struggling. Like, mostly it's because I sit a lot, and so my hip flexors are pretty rigid, and that does not help with exercising. It makes it not as pleasant as it could be. So, and there are these other guys, I think it was like Goku, these African American, like big muscle guys that were talking more about calisthenics, like kind of like body weight exercises, like dips, rows, squats, that kind of stuff. So I started getting interested in that because I'm like, well, these things I can just do, don't need any equipment, I can just do it at home, on my yoga mat. You don't need that much space. You're not like running around or anything. And it's really, it's still a form of cardio. It still works on your flexibility. But I basically set up for myself a project that was 30 days starting December 17th, and I called it the Flexibility Project, and it's splits. It was four, like, it's not really splits because I can't do the splits, but it was like, basically you're supposed to take, I believe it's 10 minutes, and every other minute you're doing 60 seconds worth of, that split stance. Like, maybe not as deep as you plan to do it, but it's pretty deep. Like, you're doing it pretty deep. Is that crazy squirrel back? Yeah, you do it pretty deep. Just pretty much as wide of a stance as you can get it to. I think that's what you're supposed to do. And then every other minute is like a rest minute. And then do that for 10 consecutive minutes. I added in like other sets, like however many, I don't know how many sets or reps I was doing. I wasn't counting. I think I tried to do 100. So I was trying to do like 100 push-ups, or 100 squats, or 100 rows, or 100 lunges, or 100 curls with a band, like bicep curls. I don't know why I picked the number 100. I had those other kind of like core workouts, like those when you're on your back doing those bicycle leg movements, forward or backward. I think I mentioned lunges already. I mean, this isn't all in one day. I would pick maybe a combination. So the goal was for 30 days to see just kind of naturally what my flow is and how often I would do, like with the splits challenge, supposedly trying to do the splits challenge every day or just about every day. And then maybe one thing upper body and one thing lower body. So maybe like the push-ups, rows, and squats, maybe 100 of each of those. Or, and I break them up into like maybe about 33 sets of 33. So 3 sets of 33 or 34 reps, or 4 sets of 25 reps. And then I'd go like do like a circuit. So like 25 push-ups, 25 rows, 25 squats, and then do that again, and that to me was already pretty intense. I didn't fully do it every day. So if I'm looking at it right now, it looks like the first week, which started on December 17th, was, I did the first day, second day, third day, then 2 days I didn't. Then the next day I did 120 minutes of dancing, and then the Friday I didn't. That next week, the week of December 24th, which was Christmas Eve and on to just before the day before New Year's Eve, I skipped Christmas Eve, I skipped Christmas Day. So the Friday the 23rd of December, basically, I don't mind mentioning, it was a menstrual cycle day. So those 3 days consecutively were like, I just was like, I don't want to deal with this. So I didn't really work out. My sleep is usually off. My eating is usually off. My hydration is usually off. I'm usually like maybe a little bit anemic. So it's hard for me to like actually pump out a decent workout. So I didn't. Monday the 26th, I think I was already in San Diego that day, working from the hotel that week. So I did a workout that day. I think that was the day I started tracking my caffeine, because I did start using a little caffeine again that day. This was the day after Christmas. And then the Tuesday I did it as well. The next 2 days I skipped. And then Friday the 30th, I got a little bit of exercise in. A little bit of walking just because I was out with my friends. And so I kind of walked for just under 30 minutes, which I was like, let me just count that because I think totally that day I walked 1.6 miles or so. It wasn't really for exercise, but I was like, there was some movement, more than it would have been if I wouldn't have gone out or anything. And then New Year's Eve, I was at a rave, so we danced basically for hours. New Year's Day, I was so pumped up from New Year's Eve that I did some dancing then too. Monday skipped, did some dancing the next day for about 66 minutes. That Wednesday I skipped. And then Thursday got back into my circuits with the splits training routine. Went to the beach Friday the 6th. Saturday the 7th was the week. So this is the next week after. This is now this week. So the week after. So I'm counting the week starting at Saturday actually. So Saturday, January 7th, did some yoga. Sunday the 8th, did some stretching. It wasn't for that long. I listed that I had some insomnia. The night before, I had some caffeine. Monday was the night that I realized I had the muscle pull. So I skipped, and then I skipped Tuesday. And then Wednesday, I did like a 30-minute HIIT workout and a 16-minute yoga exercise. Last night I danced for somewhere between an hour and 15 to an hour and 40 something minutes. And then, yeah, so now we're on today, Friday the 13th. And so you can see, like, I have it all on one page, and each week has 7 blank squares pretty much. So it looks like week 1, I skipped 3 days. Week 2, I skipped 4 days. Week 3, I skipped 2 days. Week 4, I skipped 2 days so far. And then tomorrow's going to start week 5. But week 5 ends on Monday. So I want to figure out what I want to start doing once Monday ends. But I'm not going hard. I haven't been going hard. I've been keeping it pretty mild. Like I mentioned, like yoga. And when I say yoga, it's not like fully intensive yoga. I think I had one intensive yoga session. I want to say that was Tuesday, December 27th. Or maybe it was before. Maybe it was even before this project. Before December 17th. Because I remember, the downward dogs just destroyed my shoulders. I've been having shoulder, neck, shoulder blade and neck kind of issues since probably last snowboard season is when I kind of noticed it more. And then also some issues with my hips, with my upper leg. I need to learn the proper terminology, but it's kind of like hips. Like I kept getting like hip injuries last snowboard season. So whatever I'm doing, definitely I noticed I'm not getting the hip injuries as much as I was before last year, like before summer of 2022. I remember I kept getting injuries, even though I was barely just like walking on occasion at the park. I was getting injured all the time because I really wasn't working out for like a really long time. And last snowboard season was probably, so the snowboard season where I'm from is usually like about November to April. So like November 2021 through April 2022 was the worst shape I've ever been in my life. And I recognized that by my snowboard season being the worst snowboard season as far as my flexibility, my athletic ability, my confidence. I had never had such low confidence. I go to the mountains. When I do go, I try not to just go one day. I try to go consecutive days, get a hotel nearby, and, at least I was working remotely. So I was working remotely. I've explained this before. Working remotely, I couldn't do it, like emotionally. I remember being so stressed one Saturday morning about going to the mountains, and I was like, just don't go. Like, just don't do it. You can just chill at the hotel and not go out of the hotel and just stay indoors. And I remember being kind of like in tears. It wasn't like too intensive, but I was like, give yourself permission to not do it. Like, yeah, you drove all the way here. Yeah, you went yesterday. Yeah, you're stressed about going today. Just don't go. So I skipped it, and I was like, that was a first for me. I was like, I've never been 20 minutes from the mountains and not gone. And in a way, it was kind of eye-opening that I was like, my confidence was low. And something I've been doing since I don't do it like every day because it's a pricey sport. I live like 100 miles away. Even when I was in San Diego, I was still living like 100 miles away. San Diego's further south, but it's just a drive north. And then where I'm at in LA, I'm further west. So I still have to drive north and west. And so it's still about 100 miles from either city. And then between LA and San Diego, it's about 100 miles where I'm at again. So 100 to 120. I think if you take the toll road, I don't know if it's with or without the toll, the 73 toll road. I don't know. But anyways, I was just like, what the heck? I've been doing this since, I think the first time I went up was like 8th grade. I used to get up at least a couple times a year, every year. And I used to get up, when my youth pastor used to do what's it called, ski patrol. He used to take us up, and then when I was in college, I used to go up Friday nights or Saturday nights with some friends for night boarding. We'd get in 4 or 5 hours, and it was crazy. Like, back then, I had enough movement in my life and activity in my life that I didn't have to work out and prepare to go. And I think there were a few years that I didn't go at all in between. Probably during grad school, I don't know if I went at all. Maybe I did, I just don't remember. I feel like I only skipped 3 or 4 seasons ever, but I could be so wrong. And then, all those times I've never had that experience. This was the first time more recently, in recent years. So I think 2020, nothing even opened, I think. And then maybe the years between... No, wait, let me see. Yeah, 2020 I did go up, but we went to Taos, New Mexico. And then I trained to go up that season, and it worked well. And then I went up twice that season. So I went to Taos, and then I went to the place that I go in, Angeles Forest. And then that was 2020. And then, yeah, I don't remember being in too good a shape those other times. Yeah, so bummer. A little bit of a bummer to think about, but sometimes that's the reality of things. It's like, but yeah, so I want to say sometime between, let's give it a few years, let's say 2018 and let's say between 2015 and 2018 were really off track years for me, as far as fitness. Maybe not that long, because I feel like there were times where I did go to the gym pretty often, but definitely I noticed in 2021 that, that's the year that I developed the most gray hair. That's the year that I started kind of worrying about the level of, blood pressure issues that I was probably undergoing. I could kind of notice that. Like, my sleep was definitely affected. It was the place I was living in, too. But I definitely noticed that. And it's kind of scary. For someone who grew up athletic and has athletic hobbies, it's very strange and scary to one day wake up and be like, oh, this thing I've been doing for like decades, I all of a sudden am struggling with. Like, that was a weird moment for me that year. It really was. And my last video from last season, I still never fully finished it. It was from March. It was Cesar Chavez weekend. So that weekend in March was the last time I went up. And I just went to record video footage and stuff and just chill. And I had a good time. But yeah, it was pretty relaxing to me. The end of the season. But yeah, whatever happened before March, I was not okay, for sure I was not okay. I was getting injured easily. I was having a lot of problems. And my body let me recognize that. My emotional state let me recognize that. And I didn't fully figure out what to do, but it opened my eyes for sure. But I don't want to have that experience again, that's for sure. Because it's not like you know how you're going to feel when you go to the mountains all the time. Like, the altitude's different. The terrain is, like, weird. Like, I'm from LA, have lived in San Diego for almost 9 years. I'm not used to snow and ice and frost and anything that looks anything like that. Like, this winter is raining more than I've ever witnessed in probably at least 10 years, if not longer. We don't get weird weather, It's weird when the weather even dips below 50-something degrees. I'm like, oh, why is it like 40-something degrees? Like, that's freaking weird, Like, once it's out of the 60s range, like, we all complain. We're like, why isn't it 60 degrees? Like, why isn't it 70 degrees? Like, we pay for this weather, dang it. It's expensive out here. Like, we want the weather to be good all the time so we can go outside all the time. And so, yeah, I think I got about another hour. I'm gonna record one more episode on this sabbatical year and year of Jubilee topic on my other pod, and I'm probably gonna have lunch. I don't know what yet, but I'm thinking smoothies. I don't know. I want to order something. It's gonna be too expensive though, but I like smoothies, so I might order a smoothie. I don't know. Or I might just order a little bit of groceries actually and get some of the meals from Sprouts, the pre-made meals. That might actually make a lot more sense. Then eat that for lunch. Get the eggs that I need to replace. Plan my meals for the weekend. And then get to the gym. After lunch, after my food from lunch settles, I'll go to the gym. Or maybe I might go to Ross first because I need to do some shopping. I'm going to get a couple button downs. Maybe. I don't know what size pants I even wear. I need to check that. A little bit this year I've been wearing pants. Long pants. I kind of like having fun socks, so I really like wearing shorts, and I like the feel of the breeze and the sun. But sometimes, you gotta dress it up a little bit, so I like pants, long pants. So with my fitness motivation for myself right now, it's to do good this snowboard season. That's number one. Number two, do good as far as fitting into clothing. It's more of a body image thing for myself, like for positivity, for my self-esteem. I like certain clothing, and I've noticed that it's hard for it to fit because my stomach makes it hard for the buttons. So that is not good. That is not good. I'm not going to get down on myself about it because this is controllable stuff. I've been still tracking my weight. I've been doing that since like May. And I'm almost back to my September weight, which is good. I've got 2 more pounds to go. On average, if I eat right and exercise decently, on average I lose about one weight. I lose about 1 pound a week. Especially if I've got the afterburner effect, it might be more. But right now, I think I need to treat this time period in my life like I did all the other ones and just work on my health. This is health season for me. Snowboard season is my health season. And I've been a little not too into it since November, but also I've been trying to ease in because I don't want to overdo it and get injured, seriously injured like I did before and have to take multiple days off. I'd rather honestly just do little by little. So I'm pretty motivated today, especially because the sun's out today. I don't want to miss the sun. We're not going to have any sun the next 3 days. And I should be able to just get to the gym the next 3 days, but it's hard to do on the weekends too. And during December, it's kind of not easy to go to the gym either because, January, because everybody's got their New Year's resolutions, and so the gym tends to be pretty packed on the weekends. But sometimes that's motivating. I don't know. I keep telling myself I don't want to be around a lot of people. But usually I feel like if you go to the gym on weekends around 10 o'clock or before that, you usually get less people there. So I might be able to do that. We'll see. But I've got another menstrual cycle on the way, so I'm not pleased about that. But it is what it is, But yeah, I woke up today not feeling too great, and I feel pretty good right now. And that's kind of what my weekend's gonna look like, as well as going out Saturday. I don't think I'm gonna drink Saturday. I think I'm maybe gonna have an edible before I get where I'm going. I might go get some edibles today too. I don't know, maybe I won't. I don't really know if I will, actually. I might not get an edible package. I might not. I don't really know. It's kind of a hard decision. I don't know. I want to get a shirt or two from Ross. I want to get about the edibles, I don't know. I think I still have a sativa somewhere. So I might find that sativa. It's one that I have to portion out because it's like a single gummy that's like 100 milligrams. But I might just chill with the sativa, honestly. And then I'm going to see Landon Cider tomorrow. I think some other drag performers too, but I'm excited to see Landon Cider. And then get on with my plans. My website launch. It's not a website that I'm pitching on here for people to make purchases. It's going to be basically a beauty care site. I'll see if it ends up being something that might be relevant. If I can make it kind of more queer branded, it might be more my style. I don't know. Like, as you guys know, I've never really had anything on here where I'm like, you need to buy my stuff. That's not what this is about. But if it's relevant, I mean, I know a lot of people like beauty products, hair care, that kind of stuff. It's really something I've never known anything about. I'm so just like soap, lotion, chapstick, maybe some sunscreen here and there. That's about the extent of how far I go with things. So, yeah, but, all right, with that, I appreciate you guys listening, and, have a good weekend.